It would appear that there's absolutely nowhere safe in Ireland these days from a potential assault. The streets aren't safe, the railway stations aren't safe, pubs aren't safe, homes aren't safe. You name it, nowhere safe, it appears. Unless, of course, you're Jim O'Callaghan, in which case everywhere's safe, getting safer, and he would have no problem walking anywhere, any time of the day or night, especially when it comes to Dublin. Well, let's go to Cork. And we have a story here about another assault. Nothing surprising in that. People getting bashed up in Cork is no surprise these days. But this particular attack happened in a hospital to a patient who was already being treated for something else. He was then set upon by a man with an iron bar, seriously injured, taken back into the hospital for further treatment. And this was at the same time that the Minister for Health was due to make a visit to this hospital in Cork. Can you imagine the PR nightmare with the hospital staff and administration as the Minister for Health is about to roll up? One of the patients is getting bashed up by a man with an iron bar. I kid you not. So let's look at the details in this one. And it's an odd one, this, when you see what happens at the end. So follow this one. A man is arrested after a serious assault of a patient at a hospital in Cork minutes before the health minister's visit. Oh, a man was arrested after a patient was allegedly attacked with a metal bar. So the assault occurred outside the Mercy Hospital. The Mercy Hospital in Cork. Well, the bloke with the bar certainly had no mercy on the patient, who apparently was just outside having a cigarette break or having a little pause before he resumed his treatment in the hospital. And then he got another dose of bad medicine just as the health minister was about to arrive. So, in terms of the details in this one, the assault took place outside the Mercy University Hospital in Cork City at around 9:30 on Sunday morning, yesterday morning. So a patient, a man in his 50s, was attacked. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. It's just, if you picture this happening, someone being treated, goes outside for a cigarette, gets bashed as the health minister's about. It's the madness. The madness of this story is what's making me laugh, not this unfortunate chap who was just simply outside getting attacked, then taken back into the hospital to be treated for more serious injuries. So he actually, strangely, as a result of his visit to this hospital in Cork, he ended up in a worse condition than if he had just stayed away. Think about that. A man also aged in his 50s was arrested at the scene. This assault occurred just minutes before the Minister for Health, Jennifer Carroll MacNeill, arrived at the Mercy Hospital for a scheduled visit. Can you just picture this? Can you picture her rolling up in her government car with her security detail, getting out, just walking casually towards the front doors? Next thing, a man bounds into the scene wielding an iron bar and cracks a patient over the head, who has to then be carted inside for further treatment. Can you imagine this? On the hospital grounds. It is believed that a metal bar was used after a dispute arose between the patient and the other man involved in the attack. Now, listen to this. I can't figure this one out. The man who was arrested was later released without charge, and a file is set to be prepared for the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions. Now, I'm no legal expert, but based on the facts that have been provided here, the details, the alleged details that have been provided here, this happened on a hospital grounds. There was a victim. The victim was taken in and treated. I'm believing that this was captured on CCTV because there's cameras everywhere in the hospitals. There would have been some form of heightened security in that area because the Minister for Health, Jennifer Carroll MacNeill, was about to arrive. And after all of that, the man with the metal bar who done the damage apparently was then released without any charge at all. But a file is being sent to or prepared by the DPP. So the guards' side of things are that they responded to the report of an alleged assault, Henry Street in Cork, yesterday morning. Man taken to hospital to be treated for serious but non-life-threatening injuries. This is a very strange term to use, non-life-threatening, when most of the times people that do get injured are in a bad way. Gardaí arrested a man in his 50s. He was detained under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act. He's since released without charge. So this is following on in the back. And if you've been following this channel, cast your eye over the last week. One particularly horrendous assault happened last week in broad daylight, where a man was set upon by a gang, badly beaten, stripped, clothes thrown into the river before the attackers made off in a car. This just all happened in broad daylight. And again, another incident is being referenced here. Last Tuesday, August 19th, a man was attacked on Alfred Street after refusing to hand over his backpack. A glass bottle was used in the assault, and one of the attackers threatened to, quote, finish him off with a hammer. Not really a nice thing to hear. Not something you want to hear as you're backpacking your way across Cork. I wouldn't have imagined, but it's just another in a long line of reported assaults that are happening down in this neck of the woods. And as we've seen from last week in another incident that occurred in broad daylight, St. Patrick's Quay, attackers could be seen removing the victim's shoes and trousers before throwing them into the River Lee. And then they kicked him, stomped on him. So this is all going on everywhere. Show me somewhere that these assaults are not taking place. It's almost like there's a tick box. There should be a checklist here. So pub, check. Street, check. Inside or outside Garda station, check. Inner city, check. Small village, check. Hospital, check. The list goes on and on. So let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on this one. Is it becoming increasingly cagey now, not just to get treated at a hospital or by a GP in Ireland if you can manage to secure an appointment, but now when you're sitting in the waiting room or you're outside helping yourself maybe to a cigarette, you're set upon and end up being more seriously injured than you were for whatever it was you came for in the first place. So this is another one that's sliding under the radar. I've seen this reported in one outlet so far over the last 24 hours. It's not something that's being widely publicized, but share it out there. Let people know what's happening. And if you have any experiences like this, or you've witnessed anything like this in any hospitals, please feel free to leave me your stories, comments, and opinions in the description or the comments box below. Share the content, cut and paste the link, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.